reply. Gangplank again picked out. So quick bans again between these two teams. They have a clear objective. They know what they want to target for. The question is, what sort of team will they go for? LeBlanc taken out, so they didn't want Reggie taken out. And Galio, which caused so many problems in the first game. Obviously, Alex was very strong. He can farm very well. Now we have Karthus. Alex on Karthus. Well, this could be good.
Yeah, I guess we can expect that when Karthus isn't out.
They're going to take Sona away from TSM. That's even bigger, I think.
Yeah, and that's something that props to Jat, who wrote that as well. It was like one of the biggest things we're going to see with the bans and picks is Sona first, and then they're like, oh yeah, Karthus, let's take him. So Karthus will be in the hands of TSM. They've locked in Lee Sin as well. Again. Yeah, Lee Sin again. I really like
exchange early on again there this time from the odd one. So yeah, there's a lot of tactical chess, I think they call it. I'm not too sure what the StarCraft term is here, when they like to refer to that as fast action chess or whatever they like to call it. But there's a lot that happens in the couple of minutes that goes into this picks and bans. We saw it with SKTSM. A game can be lost very quickly in this era.
Again.
Well,
yeah, against Karthus.
Yeah, against Karthus maybe. It is a very different story, but I'm guessing Reginald will have that blue buff early on. The question is whether Moscow 5 will maybe even try and counter that blue buff early on. I'm not too sure. Obviously, there's nothing beyond the realms of possibility what they've been doing. Here we go. Could be the possible AD Kennen. Now, AD Kennen could probably hold that bottom lane 2v1. So we could have different lane phases, which we had the very first game, Moscow 5 versus SK. They had a Kennen down bottom 2v1. They had
Ronan Sona.
They actually had a double in mid for a short while. Sona was roaming all over the place and assisting the junglers. We look like we may be moving back into that one. So X Special is going to fall back to his lovely cow. We love the cow.
Everyone loves
the cow.
Best champion design ever. Cow.
Big cow.
I love it. And Sivir, who, Chaos, I don't think we've seen a bad Sivir game from Chaos. In fact, I'm not sure that we've seen a bad game from Chaos at all, to say that. Darian is looking like he is once again going to be locking in the Shyvana. The question is, will they have Shyvana in the jungle? Didn't have the look that they had when Shyvana was top lane, with all that going on. But will we see something else in the jungle? Is that going to be top lane jungle Shyvana? And it's going to be a top lane Shyvana. So they're going to be putting Skarner in the jungle.
This is going to be two people in the jungle permanently, I think, here. I think we're going to see Kennen, like you say, on his own. We are going to see Sona roaming, I believe. Obviously, Skarner can pretty much take what he wants in the jungle as well as Shyvana. So I expect to see Darian possibly trying what he's done throughout this tournament. He's not seen him do it against TSM yet, early phases. I think maybe a level 1 push here. And TSM will be ready for it. So it's a case of how they counter it. Obviously, they've got Clairvoyance. They've only got one each. Whether they're going to go early ward stacking, I'm not too sure. We're going to see the final pick from TSM here. And of course, TSM, they've got the Severe ulti again. Will they go for Tryndamere? Tryndamere's available. Worked out quite well in the last game. Not too sure whether they're going to pull it out again. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to realise that Kennen could be either top or bottom now. Darian could just be top or bottom. They could just flip the lanes around, change the meta completely. It's not beyond the realms of possibilities at the moment. There's a lot of thinking going into this one. This is
taking his time.
Yeah, well,
to get this one. I mean, it's the third and final game of the grand final.
This is it. This is
the
winner.
So you mess up this time and you've lost the tournament. We can almost forget the last two there, and Irelia are gonna come in.
I'm not convinced about that one. I don't think Rayman's played Irelia that great this tournament. I'm not saying he's bad at it at all. I'm just saying he's not played that great this tournament. I think he's.
Actually, we saw his Irelia against Riven. Yesterday.
Well, against Soaz.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah, which actually he didn't do too bad that time around. Okay, it's a pretty good comp, and we can see kind of what both are aiming for. Obviously, we want Reginald in the middle. Expect to see blue buff given to him earlier on. He's going to try and counter Alex again, just like he did before. Kennen, I don't know whether he's going to be top or bottom. Darian, I would expect to be top. But we just don't know. We know with Shyvana, we've seen him invading so many times, and Kennen can survive. He's got a heal you can see on him as well. Can survive on his own for quite a while without Gosu Pepper. So,
however, we do have a slight different situation in map because Moscow 5 are blue side this time, which means he doesn't have such easy access over into the jungle on the other side. I mean, you've got the golems there on the top. before it was easy movement in onto the Wolves.
Well, yes and no. Darian could be taking the red pretty quick from the top.
That's true as well, when he gets in there onto the red.
Yeah, so there's a lot of possibilities available in this game, and I'm actually quite excited for this one. It is the grand finals, ladies and gentlemen, here at Intel Extreme Masters in Kiev. If you've just tuned in, you've missed two awesome matches. It is all square 1-1. TSM picking the first game off Moscow 5. Moscow 5 picking the very first game off TSM. Neither had lost before this finals. It is very much all in the hands of the players as we move into the final stages of the match. And really, Joe, who is your money on?
I don't think anyone would blame me right now if I ran in there, ripped up the ESL rule book and made it a best of 5.
I think the players might, if whoever wins this match. I think they might be a little bit upset. But, well, I mean, the pressure, like we talked about, Moscow 5 have not been on stage finals. They have been actually sat on that stage, that exact position they're in right now. When we came in on the Wednesday or the Thursday, the very first time we got here, they were actually playing their ranked games on there. So they were technically warming up for the finals.
Yeah, they were showing the guys here at the Cybersport Arena. They do have this stage all the time. It's not something we've built here. This is there the whole time, and teams can, when the big teams are here, they let them play on the stage and they show everyone who's here while they're watching, eating the food, whatever. But yeah, in terms of who's my money on, I said right at the very get-go, Moscow 5, and to be honest, I'm going to stick with that one. But anyway, we're going to let the players do the talking. This is, of course, the third and final matchup. The winner will be decided here between Moscow 5 and TSM.
So here we go. What will happen at the very beginning? That's what has really told the game for the last two matches, and really for Moscow 5's tournament, if all his truth is told. TSM, are they going to counter-invade? They are looking and expecting a red, I think. And we are seeing Shyvana in mid at the moment. Skarner is hanging around blue buff. Will they move up towards red? Where's the CV's going to go? Let's keep our eye. They have warded up, TSM have warded up towards the red, just above the race, to see if anything's going to move towards there. As of yet, there is no wards gone out from Moscow 5. So TSM pinging. They're hoping they can try and catch someone else here. Yeah, and you can see lay wasting on the bush there. They're just trying to get a position, get a fix on Moscow 5, and we can see that Moscow 5 just are not moving.
Going for it.
They're not invading. They're not going for it. They're going to play it careful, I think. We're going to see Diamonds getting a pull on blue or not. TSM, they've caught a glimpse of Darian, so are going to invade towards Alex. Now, remember, Alex got caught out last time. He was actually first blood, but I think TSM have realised we're going to get nothing from this, guys. We need to back off. You can see immediately Aurelia is going back to top. The odd one is going to pull the race. He's going to take a little help from Reginald. Will they go for the bottom here? Yes, they will do. Try and steal on towards the golems. I'm trying to look at the experience bar, and Genji did actually get both of those, as no experience went towards Chaos. And they will take the red buff. So an invade from TSM, and no counter invades at all from Empire this early on. So Reginald will finish off that red, and of course he could go looking for ganks now. So maybe he's going to go towards Mordecai as a Joe, or could he go down bottom? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think they'd rather have Mordecai's are taken out of the middle, yeah. We'll see if Reginald is able to get into position to do this one. Odd one is coming in from behind. Actually, Alex is on the top side, so that could change it. Actually, we do have Skarner in there as well, but they are going to make the pressure now down onto Mordecai's, who does have the exhaust, but they don't fancy it here. Reginald still level 1, not quite got the power to make that all happen. And that will be safe Mordecai's. But nice timing from Moscow 5 that they had Skarner there, because they would have gone for that had Skarner not appeared.
Yeah, definitely would have gone for that one, and could possibly have made it count. We have a ping up towards top. Yeah, there is Darian. Darian's going for the invade towards the red. He knows that the odd one's there. Actually, they're both diving in towards him. Diamond going to force him away and maybe steal some of that jungle away. Yes, he will. You can see the 4 golds ticking away on your screen. Back down the bottom, you can see Genji also trying to put pressure down on towards Chaos and X-Special, keeping him out. Back towards the top. That invade continues, and M5 are trying desperately to pull away this red buff. And remember, odd one has stole their own one, so they have to try and win out this fight. And Reginald is going to cut across. Reginald, you can see also with Alex down the bottom there. Has been pulled out of it. Diamonds is going to go down. First blood drawn this time. They're going to go towards Darian now. Slowbar actually, Wall of Pain trying the best to keep him away. Darian will back away from that one, but TSM again picking up first blood. Very nicely played, and really that was a tense stuff between all of them. Again, like I mentioned in the second game, top lane, mid and jungler all having to pull all together at the same time.
Yeah, and down at the bottom, Genja doing a great job here of trying to push back. He's actually gone for 1 point in each ability just to, I guess people are quite interested as to what Kennen's going for, the AD Kennen, so they can terrorize everyone else by playing him in the solo queue as well. Like Special has been stunned up there on the turret, but won't be too much to write home about. Early wards down in the bottom side of the river, one just on the ramp there at the next to that tri-bush. Up at top, Darian and Rayman just hammering away on each other a little bit, but not too much there either. There's only 100 difference actually in gold, but we are going to be seeing TSM in this blue buff. It's going to go to Reginald, no surprises, so he's going to try and terrorize that Mordekaiser in middle for a while.
Yeah, and of course, let's not forget that Lee Sin picked up the blue buff when he got the kill on Skarner, so it is all working out again for TSM. So Moscow 5 are finding themselves under pressure like they were in the first game, and it's interesting to see whether they can change things up. Mordekaiser backing off. We'll see what happens with that one. And Genja is, like you say, just quite happily farming down the bottom there. 36 CS to 15 is a big difference already early on. So Genja definitely in full control down the bottom there. Of course, they have that poke that Sona offers, along with Genja's really long-range shurikens that you have. Can point difference. Darian stealing the red buff again. So going for the invade up the top there, though. And I think he's going to get it. Nobody's aware of this one. So he returned back there, taken down very low in health. So it is a very ballsy move. And he will port back. This time, I don't think the Rayman pinged it at all. I don't think he was aware of what happened. And you can see, yeah, here comes the odd one. He's going to go, oh, my buff's gone. This is what the... Wait. Yeah, there you go. He immediately knows countered, so he will have the timer down. Remember, he picked up the red buff of Moscow 5, so I expect to see him immediately trying to counter on that one. Oh, and of course, Alex taking the wraiths. No, he's backed off. He's just warding. I get excited about nothing.
Just wanted to get that down, but Reginald will be. So you didn't get excited for nothing. There was something going on there. Odd one coming in, he's like, dude, stop it.
Get off my race.
They're mine, leave me alone. Meanwhile, down at the bottom, we are seeing Chaos and X Special moving a little bit further out from the turret. Pepper is actually the one that's trying to annoy him, just throwing those power cords over whenever he possibly can onto them. In terms of CS down bottom, 30 to 50, so a 20 CS lead. That's a considerable amount, actually, down that bottom early on for Kennen. However, Chaos and X Special, they've been keeping it safe. They've not actually left the lane yet, or at least Chaos didn't. And X Special didn't either, looking at what he's got there as his items. So, you know, it's not all bad. I suppose they'll be starting to push out in that little while. Is the turret taking damage? A tiny amount. We did see the invade there from the odd one once again down onto this bottom side. Skarner was doing the wraith, though.
Yeah, and a great call from Moscow 5. They've got that singular ward there. If you just take the vision away, you can see that singular ward. So they saw the odd one passing over. They knew he was either going for the wraiths or the red buff. Skarner came across, cut across towards the red buff, and immediately bot lane completely backed out. So great communication, great reactions between them. Back up the top there, you can see Darian again keeping the Rayman away from the CS a little bit here. So having a bit of control. 43 to 48 CS, so very even between the two, because obviously the big thing with Aurelia is you can easily farm on the turret. In the mid, no early kills from Reginald this time. He did get a blue buff early on, but that was worn off. And Mordekaiser actually keeping only a couple of CS ahead. That will soon swing back and forth between the two. But it is very even this time around, which is kind of what we expected. So red buff this time will be given to Diamonds. Will he give it across to his AD carry? No, he won't. He'll take it for himself. So expect to see Diamonds looking for some ganks very soon.
Yeah, I expect that as well. Actually, Alex just taking away the wolves there as he gets himself back over towards his lane. We do have Reginald going back there. Has finished off the Sorcerer's Shoes, got himself a Ruby Crystal Ward, a couple of pots in there just to keep that lane sustainability going. Mordekaiser does have an amp tone plus the boots that he got right at the start of things as well. I think we saw Kennen go home. Yeah, triple Doran's Blade built up now for Kennen compared to double Doran's over the other side. And we are seeing Darian, as you can see on your screens now, stealing. He's that thief.
He's definitely stealing those golems away, and the odd one's going to obviously come back around there in a moment. The Rayman had backed away, so he's just been back to bite, and picking up a Ruby Crystal to go with that Vampiric Scepter. So the odd one actually not going up that way. Blue buff must be due, yeah, because Reggie was starting to make his way across there. Remember, Dragon Time is due, and it's looking like Moscow 5 may well be setting up for this one. Bottom lane has come along there, and TSM are all too aware of that. They put the Clairvoyants immediately down there, and a pink ward from X Special this time around, trying to take down that ward. Will do. And they managed to take the pink ward down. That's going to be costly straight away. So Moscow 5 clearing out that pink ward that they'd managed to get down. Obviously, they've got the pink ward of their own there. And let's have a quick look. Top lane at the moment isn't moving, so I'll keep my eye on that one. Although, as I say that, Darian's ported back. See whether he manages to go straight back towards the dragon. Looks like he's heading towards top, so I'm not too sure we're going to see a dragon just yet, Joe. It looks like they've all returned to lanes. We do have a blue buff invade, though. Diamonds is going to come across, puts that ward down actually on blue buff, already picked up by Reginald, though.
Yeah, Reginald taking that one away. It was a little bit too far. They pulled it out, and that stopped Diamonds getting anywhere near it. However, he is going down, and he is going to start off on Dragon. However, is there a ward? Nope. There's not a ward pretty much anywhere near. Right, since we are going to see the flash ulti from Pepper. That was a great one. Great vision from TSM. Actually, the ulti got the last hit as well, so they have a ghost just to annoy TSM that little bit more. Clairvoyance goes down, but I don't think that TSM can really do anything about that one whatsoever. And Darian, by the way, just stealing away more golems. And his timing's like really impeccable as well. I'm not sure if TSM realise how often Darian is in their own jungle.
Yeah, now he's taking the red. Yeah, he's. This is what we talked about. You know, he's been invading. That's what with Shyvana in the first game.
And they did so well in the second game to stop him.
They did, yeah. And whether that was just Tryndamere keeping him true, or whether it was a case of Reginald obviously winning so strongly in the mid in that second game. Oh, Reginald's getting caught out, had to counter flash. Actually, the odd one had come in to help, but Reginald was already flashed back away from that one because he was all too aware of Alex coming up behind him. So at the moment, Moscow 5 started to get a little bit of control, a little bit of a handle on this game, and again it is Darian starting to impose his will on that top lane, and Reginald, with that blue buff, he's going to have to farm. 93 CS to 82, does have that slight lead. Down the bottom, of course, it is 80 CS for Chaos and 94 for Genja on Kennen at the moment. That AD Kennen that he's been running, as you can see, he has leveled up Electric Surge 2-4, left everything else at 2 and 1. So piling in on Electric Surge at the moment, which you guys probably want to keep your eyes on. I would not know the wards with the runes he's been using. Darian again. This time he's going to get caught out. The ping's gone down. The odd one comes around. Aurelia's also moving in the position. They do have Skarner though coming through the jungle. Going to be coming up behind the odd one. The odd one actually taking a huge amount of damage. That's going to be the ulti from Darian there. He's going to continue diving. The odd one will go down to Darian. Now they're going to be at a 2-on-1 position. Can they pull Rayman away from the turret? Yes, they can. Ulti coming out from Karthus. I'm not sure if it's going to quite be enough. Darian almost going to go down. He will pick up the kill. Very nicely played, and now Reginald in all sorts of trouble. Ulti goes down. Reginald is dead. He is not going to get out of this one. Very, very well played by Moscow 5. Tries to dodge out, puts that lay waste down, but he does manage to escape it, and Diamonds is just going to push forward, and of course Reggie, the Ghost, is going to now attack that turret. Back down the bottom. And, well, it is that story. They have kept pushed on towards that tower, but really it's been about that top lane again. It is all about Darian's invade. MVP by a mile for me.
Down at bottom there, we actually had the push coming in. Genja was forced to use his summon heal, but we are going to see the pressure coming down, and he's just going to get himself as quickly as possible out there. Look at X Special though, charging in. It looks like Pepper is going to go down to Chaos. He is indeed, and Genja needs to get away from that. And he will manage to do so. 4-2 the score for Moscow 5. And I tell you what, from what could have been a bad invade there up on the top side from Darian, turned very nice, actually, for Moscow 5. Great reactions by Skarner to get in there.
Absolutely, full reaction speed. Like you say, Skarner was already on the way to come and help out. He'd realised that Aurelia was starting to edge towards him. They knew the jungle was missing, and immediately the two mid lanes again responded and came straight up there, and Reginald getting caught out and just taking the damage from Alex all the way up that top lane. And now Darian really has, I think, a bit of control over Rayman. The Rayman at the moment is... Well, you can see he's 30 CS behind because Darian's constantly been invading. As soon as that lane's pushed, there we go, look, he's off again. Lane's pushed up to tower. I'm going to go take some golems, which are not there because Lee Sin had just been there, and comes straight around, and he's looking for Lee Sin. Lee Sin's actually ready. You can see the odd one. So ping goes down. Is he going to come with Reginald? Yeah, Reginald's going to come across. Wall of Pain goes down there. The odd one manages to get in towards the damage of him, and I had to back away as soon as that burnout was running. And then, well, Darian... He does have a lot of damage on him, and Reginald, the odd one, can't actually stand and bang with him. He cannot fight. So he's had to back away. Chaos back down the bottom. He has got a BF sword now, Joe, so there's a bit of damage going to come out to him. You can see Special now coming back. He's just warded up the river. As soon as I come back, Pepper gets caught, but it's just a swift headbutt and backs away. Very, very tense stuff here. 4-2 the kills. Could go either way.
Yeah, 3k gold is the difference that we're sitting on right now. So close, and we are going to see Darian pushing. That turret's going to go down, and Rainman's like, hey, you know what? These are on my side of the map. I'm going to take these golems. He did steal the second one there. And Raymond's going to be forced to back away once again. And we do have the Wraiths there up for the taking. And Moscow 5 are going to try and take this blue away as well. They've got wards in there. They're there with 3 guys. They should be able to take this one. Actually, there's the Oracle on diamonds as well. So they were able to clear out what limited vision TSM had around that area. And diamonds is now double buff. And are they going to go in there? We'll surely see diamonds pop his ulti on one of these 3. He needs to be careful, though. He is a little bit out there. He did get kicked away by Lee Sin as the ulti from Karthus comes in. They were actually all full HP from Moscow 5 anyway, so that won't make any difference whatsoever. Yeah, and they need to be careful. Shivan's cutting actually back across to have a look towards Reginald. He is very strong already, and he's going to try... Well, actually, he was just coming down to steal the farm, wasn't he? And Genji was like, hey, this is mine, I'm going to have some of this. And like, no. So the mid and bottom fighting over farm. Remember, that dragon will be due soon. Oh, top lane, Rainman's pushed the turret. So, taking the turret a piece, and that is going to actually free up... Oh, you saw Diamond just flash through, trying to get towards Reginald, exhausts him down, trying his best to defend from the ulti. He does manage to get ulti through, and just absolutely destroyed by a double ulti. And that means immediately Genja comes in, gets on towards the Rainman, pops that ulti across, gets the stun. Will back away, though. X-Special was coming through to try and headbutt someone towards that tower. But it was all to no avail, and even the Reggie Ghost is getting the treatment from X-Special there. That'll really annoy Reginald, by the way, that Alex gets to control him for a while. Yeah, that's really, really going to get back to him. Genja coming back down the bottom here, and Chaos is trying his best to pick up a bit of farm. It's going to be an AD versus AD. We've seen Genja doing this a couple of times, actually getting very aggressive on the opposition AD. Meanwhile, in the mid, you can see it's down to half. The invade again on Darian is going to be taking that. The odd one is just above him, and now he's just going to have seen it gone down. The clairvoyance goes, and he's like, there's nothing you can do about it. Moscow 5 turning the screws ever so slowly on TSM here. Yeah, and I read a post last night on Reddit, as we are going to see that dragon. If we get into a fight, I'll stop blabbering on. But it was a cool one that was like 6 months ago. We would be excited when they ran into their jungle and stole their wolves. This tournament, it's almost become normal that they're constantly stealing those buffs away, and that just shows the evolution of the game over, in my opinion, for a competitive game, a fairly short space of time. And is that down to the new jungle which is out there, which I guess it is? It's kind of a bit more rewarding to counter jungle because you can get a lot of gold stolen away from the opposition. Is it down to the summoner spells that have changed? You know, Riot Games have put a lot into this, from the difference between the tournament we had at Gamescom, the difference between the tournament we had at New York, and China, of course, from what we've got here, and the game's permanently evolving. I mean, the amount of times we get caught out by patch note changes, every time we turn up a tournament, no, we're on a different realm, and these things, you know, it keeps the players on their toes and keeps the game evolving, which sometimes you actually don't get. Sometimes you can get a bit of a stalemate in a game, and the beauty of this game so far is we've not had
a single team just absolutely dominates. Somewhere along the line, someone will figure it out and come out with something new.
Yeah, and that's a really amazing thing for me. Again, just to point out, the obvious up at the top there, we are seeing Darian stealing away the golems once again. Rayman's just come back into that lane to stop him pushing too hard onto that turret. I don't think that Darian really minds that either. He's 3 levels above Rayman, by the way, which just goes to show you. In terms of CS, 175 to 134, so, 40 CS ahead, but 3 levels. That's a rather ridiculous amount for a lane with 2 people in it to have that big of a difference between them. Bottom turret is going to fall to Moscow 5 as well. And we did see that dragon going down earlier, and it stretched the gold out rather rapidly, actually, to a 6k difference.
Yeah, and definitely. I mean, that's the only one tower. There's a dragon involved in that, and obviously the kills we've had. But it's all been about this counter jungling and actually just out farming as well. Down the bottom, 164 to 145. Like you say, that top's a big difference now. And again, what a shock! Darian's in the jungle again on Shyvana, taking all the jungle away from him, warding it up as they go. And this is where they start to push their advantage now. Now that they've got all that gold, you can see there's 3 wards on Skarner. He's going to go around that enemy jungle and actually have a look with that Oracle, clear out the pit of Baron. So already starting to properly preemptive onto maybe taking that Baron early on. That's going to actually give TSM pull their focus completely. Now they've realised we have to be around this area, so we can't afford to be away farming. We need to keep a presence up and around there. Oh, they've caught Darian out, though. Darian's out of position, although he's going towards Chaos. Chaos is not really in the healthiest position, and he's just going to stroll past. Just stroll past around the back there. Just absolutely nothing they can do about it. I mean, there was not a lot that Severe could do. Look at that! Perfect timing. Walks in, wolf spawn, thanks. It's just
unbelievable, incredible. To be honest. Great play from Darian. And we are going to see him now try to take... When I say tried to take the blue, he's going to take this blue away. And that's... I guess I wish we'd got a counter to see how many buffs they had and how many were theirs even, because with this kind of gameplay it'll be really interesting to pull those stats out and see how many buffs Darian's actually still stolen away, how many of his creep score were actually from the enemy jungle, for example, which must be way up into those double figures by now. And Moscow 5, they're pinging all around the Baron area, but are they going to go? I think it may be more a point of saying, okay, so now get yourself home, buy some wards, and come in. We need to get this Baron area warded up before we think about taking that one out.
And what does he do? He buys 5 wards.
Prediction.
So he's like, right,
you can read them pings.
Let's get this complete enemy jungle all covered over, which actually they do have a good portion of already. Meanwhile, while this is all happening, Genji's just been AFK farming down the bottom here. 193 CS already, 161 for Severe. Severe does have the Infinity Edge though, so we'll be doing a lot of damage. And then immediately puts that boomerang blade across, but didn't do a great deal of damage to Kennen. Kennen happily puts up... Oh, Chaos actually popped his ulti here. He wants a piece of Genja. I think Genja's going to have a stun available. You saw him get that snare, and again, pops the snare on and says, yeah, really, you're not going to get close to me. Darian invades. What a gain. And what a special thought about it is I'm not too sure if I'm in the right position here. I'd actually just back straight away out of that jungle. But they are absolutely... just pillaging everything that TSM have, and this is what we've seen throughout the tournament. We didn't quite see in the second game. TSM really managed to handle it and control it well, but M5 have just turned the screw once again. They've stepped up the game, and well, TSM trying their best to take this red buff away, but you can see Moscow 5 already moving into position. They have that wards down. It did get it. They were quite close enough to get it down. They are rotating around. They're going to go for Baron, Joe.
Yeah, and the interesting thing that the wards from Moscow 5 are actually all over the place, number one. They've even got them set behind them just in case anyone comes around that corner bush there. Baron is down to around about a third HP. They get rid of the ward that was in there. We are going to see the flashes in, and TSM make a massive charge onto Moscow 5. Stop. Alex gets a kill. Odd One will go down. X-Special goes down. Then it's just going to be a bit of a snowball effect. Baron is picked up. It's an ace. Oh, no, it's not. I tell a lie. Chaos is still alive, but for how long is the real question. He is surely dead. There goes the stun. Heal is used, and there is the ace for Moscow 5.
Desperation move, pops a heal. It's like, really, it's not going to save you. And I think they may just run straight in the base, straight up the mid, which is beautifully done. Moscow 5 have played this immaculately as well. They've not really put a foot wrong. And they stuck to Mordekaiser, more importantly. Mordekaiser struggled, but they took Cassiopeia out of it and said, we're not scared of your Karthus, Reginald, and really laid down the gauntlet to him. Even with the blue buff, he managed to keep the farm up. And it's all been about Darian at the top. I'm flabbergasted by nobody's kept to control on this man, because he's permanently been in the enemy jungle, and they're like, we're not too. Originally, they said to us, we're not too worried about the jungle invade. It's helping out the lanes.
Yeah,
but
that's if all you remember the pre-interview.
Yeah,
I overhyped.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and say that's what's won Moscow 5 this game.
Absolutely.
In the first one and in this third set as well. Just to point out now, I think this point of the game is a good time. If you head over to IntelExtremeMasters.com, we are running a vote for the I carried Kiev, the MVP of the tournament. It's pretty much just Moscow. In fact, it is just Moscow 5 and TSM players. Yeah, there's the hoodie, which is a once in a lifetime thing. We don't make any more than one. We order just the one. You get in there one of the BenQ player monitors, there's a player pack from Razer, from Intel. It's good prizes, actually, for being that MVP.
And interestingly enough, some of these Moscow 5 players, Alex said in his interview, their computers are not good enough to stream. Well, they might be if they get MVP, that's for sure. And picking up $12,000 won't help either, won't be too bad. So we could well see some of these guys streaming a bit more, but Moscow 5 are looking a big favourite for taking the Intel Extreme Masters here in Kiev. They're 24 minutes into this. They've taken the outer turrets pretty much all up mid, about to take this bottom inner turret as well. The top turret is pretty much untouched, but I don't think it would take too much for it to take it down. They're working their way in with the Baron. That will go down in a couple of swings from Mordekaiser there, as Alex Inch makes it. It is Alex, by the way. You may be seeing a different name. No idea what that main name means. Maybe it's his real name. I don't know. I'm not even going to say it, just in case it means something crazy and random in Russian.
Here we go with the 5-man pushing in onto this bottom lane, and that turret is going to be melted away. Wall of Pain doesn't actually do all that much at this point of the game. We are going to see now TSM moving in for one last try. Diamonds is like, come here, Reginald, you're not going to be involved in this fight. Pulls him away before he gets the kill in there, and they are going all over to Moscow 5. Chaos is going to try and run himself away with the help of the ulti. Genji just trying to get in there right at the end. But TSM, and they're going to lose out to this one, unfortunately. Moscow 5 with 6 men alive right now, since they've got that Ghost there with them for a little bit of help as well. And they are going to go straight in onto the Nexus, and Moscow 5 are going to win the Intel Extreme Masters Global Challenge here in Kiev, in front of a crowd that absolutely loves them and has done for this whole weekend. They have played absolutely phenomenally.
They've been immaculate all the way through it. Not without a doubt, there was a single map that TSM took away from them. They immediately reacted with a huge win in that map and completely dominated throughout it. They've been the strongest team throughout this tournament by a long way. They've lived up to what was a lot of hype before this tournament, and that can get to players. It's been their first big stage finals. We question that. They've responded straight away. And the big thing is, this is another team now that's opened the door. They will be going to Hanover. They're going in there as the last tournament winners, which is something, which is huge, because now you're going to have all the teams out there looking out to beat them. How will they respond to it? Who knows? They're going to be practicing like crazy, because that's what they've done. So have